like how we've done the very action-oriented combat for on land, we've also done the same thing underwater. But some of the combat mechanics just don't make sense. Like trying to do an area of effective placement on the ground, it doesn't work underwater because of the 3D environment. So we did a couple things. First off, we want to make sure you weren't playing the UI. You didn't need a breath meter that was telling you that you needed a certain amount of oxygen level before you're dying, so that's gone. We've added basically a breathing apparatus to every single player so you can go and explore and swim and not have to worry about that. The second thing that we've done is that we've changed out the weapon skills. So all 5 weapons that he's now using are based on aquatic weapons. So like tridents, spears, and harpoons. This allows us to do kind of some unique things in the water. Like before, the Guardian would place like a wall on the ground to protect you. Now he can do things like put up a barrier or a wall of spears made out of light that when enemies swim through it, bleeding will be attached to them. And if you drag them back and forth, then you're going to start stacking the bleeding. So there's a lot more movement based on the whole 3D environment. Just like on land, you can swap weapons in combat and can basically determine whether he wants to be more of a ranged character or switch to kind of a close-up melee character. This is all at your control. The other kind of cool thing, like he just did a Pillar of Light, which is this AoE, but it's also in this very 3D-based sphere, so that any enemy who's in there is going to take damage. And he's also got an ability that he can actually put on an enemy that will actually drag them down towards the bottom of the ocean. Like, we're really giving this cool kind of the aspect of controlling the 3D environment. So for some of you who weren't familiar or didn't see last year's presentations or demos, the first 5 skills on the bar are based on which weapons you're actually using. So if it's a 2-handed weapon, all 5 are based on that. Or if you only have a one-handed weapon like a sword and a shield, the first 3 weapon skills will be based on your main hand, and then the second 2 will be on your offhand. The number 6 skill is the heal. Every class has their own heal. They all work a little bit differently and give you some unique mechanics. Like in the Guardian's case, if he uses a heal, he'll create a bubble around him that will protect him while he's healing himself. So some of the deck building that we had in Guild Wars 1 comes into play is this 7 through 9 skill. 7 through 9 are utilities. These are things that you'll earn along the way and allows you to kind of customize it. These will be things like being able to jump to a target location and do extra damage and things like that. And then finally, the number 0 skill here is your elite. If you remember elite skills from Guild Wars 1, they were pretty powerful. In Guild Wars 2, we took it to the extreme. So you're going to be doing massive damage with these things, or there's some very unique mechanics that happen with this. This is basically going to be the ability you're going to use when you know you're in trouble. And you know it wouldn't be a Gamescom demo if we didn't show you another massive fight. Another amazing encounter that is complicated, but at the same time very engaging and requiring a lot of players. Last year we showed you the Shatterer, a dragon minion that was in the brand. But this year, as soon as Matt gets out of combat, we'll show you another one. This is a undead dragon, another minion of Zaitan, and by the way, this is one of our small dragons. Zaitan is much, much bigger. So this encounter has a lot of mechanics that are going on. You'll notice that he's created these giant boom walls in front of him that basically are protecting him from the siege equipment, the turrets, that the Asura and the Hylic, or frog-like people who have built up on the shore. Players need to burn down the bone wall so they can attack. The other this tendril that you're seeing right now is an actual figure of him. He'll drive his hands into the ground and create these tendrils that'll come up, and they'll basically fling players towards the dragon so that you can do massive breath attacks and a lot of poison AoE damage. And like I said, in the back here you can see there are two types of turrets. We have the Asura lightning turrets, which do a good amount of damage that also bounces between targets, and the highlight poison turrets, which just do a good ground-based targeting damage. So Guadalajara also flies up in the air and spits out giant pools of poison. In addition, that creates these bloated creepers. These are large abominations that basically will walk towards players, and if they hit them, they will explode and do a ton of poison damage in a large area. This fight is about control, getting the creepers away from other players and being able to control where the actual damage is going to be. So as you can see, we probably have about 30-40 people from here on the show floor, but also back at Arenanet. Devs are staying up late in order to play with you guys and let you get the full experience out of this game. So the other cool thing about this encounter is that there's a giant mega laser in the back that you saw just fire off that will hit Tequatl, stun him, and basically allow players to get in and do a ton of damage. But they have to be quick about it because at the same time, as soon as he gets back up, he's going to start doing a boatload of damage. He's going to just wipe the floor. So here you're seeing tons of players working together in order to defeat this encounter. You've got guys who are breaking down the bone walls and the tendrils and keeping off the hordes of undead from destroying the siege equipment in the back. He's also got a ton of characters up front who are attacking him directly. And you've also got people who are running around resurrecting each other. And here you see that the players here were able to band together and take this guy down. What's a giant encounter without some loot? So everybody who participated in this encounter, whether it's just a little bit or was there for the entire thing, is going to get something out of this chest. The more you participate, the more we're going to give you, the more we're going to reward you. So there isn't anything about competing for loot, competing for prizes. This is everything that everybody gets. They're going to each get something that they can either use or they can sell or trade to other players. This was just like any of our other dynamic events. So these are going to scale. The more people that show up, maybe we'll give the boss a couple of additional abilities, or you'll get additional life, or it'll be a little bit harder. But all the while, we're encouraging players to come together, band together, and do some, come for a common goal, common objective in order to take these guys down. And apparently Matt's having a good time at Gamescom. So I want to thank you guys all for coming out here and take a look at our demo. We have another demonstration that we're going to be doing this afternoon. We also have 10 playable PvP stations in the ESL booth in the back corner. And there's some exhibition matches where some of the devs will be playing a guild boot control up on the demonstration floor. I can't stress enough, we are really excited about this, but what it really comes down to is you guys should get your hands on the demo stations, play the game, and let us know what you think, because realistically, we're making this game for you guys. We want you guys to be excited about this just as much as we are. Thanks, guys.